Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manpreet Kaur and today we have a CEO of our company, Unique Zone Real Estate. His name is Ankush Midda. He's an ex-banker, chartered accountant, and he's been in real estate market from last 15 years. Welcome, Mr. Ankush Midda.
Thank you so much, Manpreet, for having me. It's a pleasure, and I hope I can answer all your investors and overseas buyers' questions through this podcast.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Ankush, most commonly asked question by my overseas investors are, why should we invest in real estate in Dubai?
So I think not just Dubai, I think the entire UAE market as such is one of the best markets in the world to invest in. You get the highest returns on investment. It's the best infrastructure in the world. It's the safest country in the world. If you see any ranking in the world, everybody tells you Dubai is the most safest place to be in right now. And the most important thing for any investor is the returns. So we are seeing the best returns, best returns on investments in the market, not just from rentals but even capital appreciation.
Right.
And the cherry on the cake, the icing on top of everything, is that there is no tax. So it's a completely tax-free income.
Exactly.
Nowhere in the world you get a tax-free income on property.
I have investors from Canada and America and UK, and they get shocked when I tell them there's no tax on your personal income, there's no tax on your rental income or no capital gain.
Absolutely. And not just that, even property tax. I mean, a lot of people across the globe pay huge amounts of property tax.
Right.
Over here, there is no property tax. What you pay at the time of buying the property is just 4% on the value of the property, and that's just once. And after that, you just pay your maintenance fees and you are the owner of the property. There is no VAT while buying a residential property or while selling it. There is no VAT on your rental income, and there is no personal income tax. So it's a fantastic investment opportunity for anywhere, from anybody who's coming from anywhere in the world.
And another question I get asked very often from every single investor from overseas, that you cannot buy property in Dubai. They have doubts. They say, oh, you can only own a property for 99 years.
So if you look at the facts and figures, more than 200 nationalities stay in Dubai, and more than, I think, close to 200 nationalities own properties in Dubai. You don't have to be a resident of UAE to buy a property in Dubai. The best part about Dubai is that most of the areas where investors invest are actually freehold. So the government has designated these areas as freehold for expats, not just for locals, but even expats can come and they get the title to their property for life.
Right.
But there are still certain areas which are traditionally, mainly in the commercial areas, where there is leasehold. But it's very clearly told at the time of buying itself whether you're buying a freehold property or a leasehold property. So leasehold property, typically there are areas where you would get rights for 25 years, 30 years, up to a maximum of 99 years. But in a freehold title, you own the land, you own the percentage of the building for life. You have never to worry about anybody taking back or anybody shelling you out of the property at any given point.
So it's basically it's passed on to your kids, like how it works
Absolutely.
in India and rest of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing I think which is very important to note for your overseas investors, especially who are not Muslim,
Right.
is that it's very easy to make a will. You can just go to Dubai court, Abu Dhabi court, or to the DIFC court, and you can register your will. And that will is executable. So if God forbid, something happens to you, you can go to the courts, you can ask for a succession based on that will. And it's very easy to get it executed. So you don't have to worry about, oh, will my property get distributed as per Sharia? No. Only if you are a Muslim. Of course, we are in a Sharia compliant country.
Right.
You have to follow the Sharia laws. But the Dubai courts, the Abu Dhabi courts, and the DIFC courts, they allow you to have your own free way of deciding how your property and your assets are going to be passed on to your successors.
And I think nowadays you can do the will online,
Absolutely.
video call. Yeah?
Absolutely.
The buyer or seller the investor doesn't have to be in Dubai to do a will.
Absolutely. All the courts, they allow you to do the registration of the wills online. You don't have to come to Dubai. There are lawyers, there are people who can assist you in registering your will. There's no reason why you should not do it in the first place.
And another question, most of my international investors who don't live in Dubai, they want to know the process, how it works, how you can start investing in Dubai, and what is the process to buy a property in Dubai.
So basically, if you look at buying a property in Dubai, we can, at a very higher level, just say that there are two types of markets. One is the primary and one is the secondary transaction market. Primary market primarily means that you're buying from a developer. So you can go to Emaar, you can go to Damac, you can go to Dubai Properties, Miras, Danube, Shobha, all of these developers who are registered with the Real Estate Regulatory Agency and come under the Dubai Land Department ambit. Anywhere in the world, any buyer can buy a property. So when you're buying a primary property, you could be anywhere in the world. You can select your property online via video call or through roadshows that happen frequently in various locations across the world. You select your property, you decide, what's the payment plan, how you're going to make the payment. Payment options are also very easy when you're buying a property in Dubai. You can do a wire transfer, you can pay your initial amounts through credit cards, and the only documentation that you need is your passport.
Right.
Because that's what registers your property in Dubai. That's
Right.
what your, that's the identity document, primary identity document that is required.
And they want to know what is the process to buy a ready property. We talked about off the plan property. How about a ready property?
So in ready property, the difference is that the buyer and the seller have to either physically go to the Dubai Land Department appointed trustee office, or they have to appoint a power of attorney who will represent them in front of the trustee. So that's the biggest difference. In the primary market, you don't need to come to Dubai to register.
Right.
But in the secondary market, when you're buying a ready property, or even an off-plan property in a secondary transaction, somebody has to be present. It has to be you or your representative.
Or power of attorney.
Yeah, or your power of attorney. It's required by the Dubai Land Department trustee office that you make the payment in front of them. So the buyer comes with a payment proof. It could be a manager's check, or it could be a wire transfer proof, or either you could have an appointed trustee escrow who could come with the payment. And once the title is transferred to the buyer, the Dubai Land Department trustee office hands over the payment to the seller. The transaction happens in a very, very simple, very, very digital manner, because over here nothing is on paper. Everything is digital. We are in a very different kind of an environment. The buyer is very secure because he knows once he gets the title of the property, it's clear of any encumbrance. There is no fraud. There is nothing involved over here. And the best part is you can go to any of the 16 to 20 DLD trustee offices. And it's a very clean and simple process.
Right. And you mentioned that the overseas buyers can give power of attorney, and power of attorney can go behalf of them to transfer the property.
Yes,
right?
and the same way the power of attorney can be done online.
Yeah,
So
and it's online. They don't
yeah.
even have to be in Dubai to
Absolutely.
give power of attorney. It's everything online. They can do a video call with the
Absolutely, and it can be a specific power of attorney. So you can just appoint a lawyer, your friend, or your relative on your behalf to just do one transaction. You can decide what powers you want to give to him. And this also can be done online. The power of attorney is also an online, can be done through an online process through the courts.
That makes so easy for the overseas investors. Let's say they want to travel, they don't have time, and especially my investors from US and Canada, it's a long flight and it's coming all the way just for the transfer. Sometimes it's hectic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dubai makes it easy for anybody to come and invest over
Definitely.
here.
It's insane how convenient Dubai is. Everything is online. You don't have to hustle, bustle, it's so easy. Everything is
Absolutely. Even everything, related to property transactions, even getting an NOC from a developer for the resale. Most of the developers, they have online application systems. You can apply everything online. You can make your service charges payments online. So it's nowhere in the world, I think, that I have ever heard of where buying a property is as easy as this.
Dubai is already living 70 years ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
I think the technology, the advancements that the government, the Dubai Land Department and the RERA has done in this field is amazing.
It's amazing. I was shocked too, to see the system, because I moved from India 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
And in India, system is the system, how it works. But here it's totally different. Everything is easy, convenient. And a lot of my overseas investors ask, what is the process of mortgage? How do they apply for mortgage in Dubai?
So, it's very easy to get a mortgage for a foreign investor. A lot of the local banks and international banks do provide facility, but it's restricted to ready properties. So if the property is ready or it's at the last stage, most of the banks in UAE provide very good options for mortgage to foreigners. But the value is limited to 50% of the value. So it's 50% LTV, 50% loan to value ratio. And any investor from anywhere in the world, he has to just provide his documents, his income proof from his own country of origin, where his income is getting generated, and we can assist him. I mean, we do provide that service as well to all our investors, wherein they can apply for a loan.
And a lot of them ask that can they get mortgage on off-the-plan property?
So while the property is under construction, Dubai Land Department is not allowing the registration of the mortgage on the property, because the first claim on the property remains with the developer till the time the full payment has not been made and the property is not ready. In certain cases, certain Islamic banks do provide funding, but that's very limited and it's not easy to obtain. So in general, what we say is that bank finance for foreigners is available for ready properties, but for off-plan properties, it's very difficult to get a mortgage loan.
And is there any other options to buy a property except mortgage?
Yes, absolutely. There are a few developers who still continue to provide interest-free post-handover payment plans. And honestly, these are the best investment options for overseas investors, because they would have paid only like 60% or 50% of the actual value of the property. They get the keys to the property. They can either start living in it or they can rent it out, and they can start earning very good returns on investment. Especially Danube has made itself very, very well known all across the globe with its 1% payment plan.
And then Samana is there.
Samana is there, and there are other developers also. From time to time, they do come up with payment options where they give you the opportunity to buy the property without paying the full amount at the offset itself.
Just to make investors...
Absolutely. Everybody doesn't have the full money available.
Exactly.
And not everybody wants to, pay interest. A lot of people don't like to pay interest while buying a property.
True.
So these are the best possible options
just
for any investor.
Just to make investors transaction property transfer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we all know that Dubai has started giving golden visa on investment of 2 million dirham. So it's so popular nowadays.
Absolutely.
And is there any other way to get a golden visa or any visa on an investment?
So in addition to the golden visa, which of course now the government has made it much more easier, even for off-plan properties, if you buy a property above 2 million dirham, earlier only it was a ready property. Now, even if it's an off-plan property, you bought it and the property is registered with Land Department, you're eligible for a golden visa.
Exactly.
But in addition to that, there has always been another visa, which is the investor visa. So you buy a ready property whose value is about 750,000 dirhams, which is effectively 200,000 US dollars, which is a fairly small amount of investment. You can get a 2-year visa for yourself, which is called an investor visa.
And let's discuss about what are the advantages of getting a golden visa.
So the biggest advantage, of course, is that you and your family, your dependents, and even your parents can get a 10-year visa. You can come and go as you like. You can stay inside UAE. You can have banking transactions. You can open your company over here. You can behave like a proper resident of UAE. You don't have any restrictions.
And I got asked a question today that can you start a business on your golden visa?
So it doesn't really matter. I mean, for starting a business, you don't need a visa. You can be an international investor and still own a company over here. Because government does not require residency as a basis for opening a company.
Right.
So you can open a company in a free zone, which is 100% ownership with you. You can open a mainland company. It has to be the right kind of activities which the government allows. You have to follow the rules and regulations of the economic department. And you can absolutely open a company over here.
And how much it will cost them to start a company, set up a business in Dubai?
So it all depends upon the type of license and what regulatory agencies are involved. A basic LLC company, a limited liability company, can start somewhere around 20,000 dirham just for the license fees.
Right.
And of course, then you have to take your office, you have to have an ijari for an office, and you have to hire staff, and you have to have all other things. The amount cannot be, classified straight away, but it could be anywhere from like close to $10,000 to $20,000-30,000 US.
It's very easy to start.
It's
a
very
business
easy.
in Dubai.
And there are various options available wherein you can open your company at a very fast pace.
Definitely. And Dubai has the best rental income in the world, no doubt. We all know that. And how can the investor maximize it?
So the best part about Dubai is that they allow you to change your property from just a pure residential property into a holiday home, which is licensed under the Dubai Economic and Tourism Department.
Right.
So there are various operators. We are also one of the licensed operators, and we help our investors maximize the return. So if you look at a long-term rental, being a long-term rental in Dubai, it's classified as a contract of 1 year and above. So
Right.
a 1 year and above residential property rental return would be anywhere between 5 to 7%. But if you compare that to a short-term holiday home income, it can go up to even 8 to 12% in certain cases. Of course, it depends upon where your property is, how easily accessible it is. Do tourists like to stay over there? So hotspots like Dubai Marina, downtown, anything on the sea like beachfront, these are very, very commonly visited places by tourists, and they love to stay over there. A lot of families from Europe, they are used to traveling and staying in Airbnb properties.
Right. And Dubai is a tourist city.
Absolutely.
There are people come every day, and and a lot of Asian Arab families likes to live in apartment than a hotel. To be honest, because apartment has
gives you the flexibility.
Yeah,
you have a kitchen, you have a washing
balcony.
machine. Yeah, you come in, you go out. You're not in a hotel environment. You cook your own food.
Exactly.
You park your car, and it gives you a lot more flexibility.
Exactly.
And it's also much more convenient and cheaper as compared to hotels.
Right. And another big concern of my overseas investors is, what if their tenant doesn't pay the rent on time?
So the beauty about Dubai is that everything is regulated. So as soon as the tenant comes on board, he signs a rental agreement, and that rental agreement gets registered with the Dubai Land Department through an Ejari.
Right.
So both the tenant as well as the landlord's interests are logged and they are registered.
Right.
So now, for example, a tenant gives 2 checks or 4 checks. So post-dated checks are still accepted in Dubai. And that check, say for example, for the second or the third check, gets bounced. The tenant does not have the funds in his account. He is not contactable. The simplest way for any investor is to just give a notice through the court and then file a case through the Rental Dispute Committee, which is also another arm of the Dubai Land Department, which regulates the entire rental market.
And how long the whole process takes?
It's a very fast process. So basically, but before we start the court proceedings, you have to give a court notice to the tenant. It's a 30-day notice. You give time to the tenant to come and clear the payment. If he still doesn't come, if he still doesn't clear his payment, then you register the case in the Rental Dispute Committee. And the Rental Dispute Committee is pretty fast in its hearings. Usually within 1 to 3 months, you will get a judgment. It's unlike anywhere in the world.
Right.
Because this is a dedicated court just for looking into rental disputes. So they're very fast in their judgments.
And does an investor get his rent of
Absolutely.
those 3-4 months?
Absolutely. They take care of everything. So the default, the fees involved, whoever is the defaulting party, everybody is taken care of by the court.
And the lawyer fee and everything.
Absolutely. You can actually file your case on your own. It's so easy. I mean, in fact, in Dubai, most of the things are done without lawyers, especially in real estate.
Right.
But you're absolutely free to hire a lawyer if you want to. And especially in the cases where the payment is not done by the tenant, it's a 30-day eviction notice even.
Right.
So if he doesn't pay, you can ask the court even to give you an eviction notice.
Right. And how safe is investors' money when they buy an off-plan property? And another question, what if developer defaults?
So every project in Dubai has to be approved by RERA. Every project has to have a specific escrow account. All the investors' money has to be deposited in the escrow account only. And the escrow account is controlled by Dubai Land Department and RERA. They make sure that the developer gets the payment only once the set stages of completion of the project have taken place. Even an investor anywhere in the world can actually go to the Dubai Rest app, which is the Dubai Land Department official app, and they can see the progress reports, they can see the audit reports, and they can know exactly what is the stage of their project. They get photographs, they get audit reports, very easily accessible from anywhere in the world.
Very transparent.
Absolutely, very transparent. There are regular audits, there are regular inspections. All these reports are readily available. And the best part is the money. the money sits inside the escrow account. The developer has got no access to it. Only the land department and the RERA, once they certify, then the funds are released to the developer, and those funds can only be used for the construction of that particular project.
And nowadays they have started this construction-linked payment plans, which is even safer to buy.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, your money should be used only for your project. And that's what Dubai Land Department and the escrow account facilitates. They make sure that the funds are used only for this particular project. Suppose tomorrow there is a default from the developer, those funds remain over there. And the Dubai Land Department, through its appointed agencies and through the court system, they can decide how that funds are to be utilized for the completion of the project, and they take care of everything end to end.
And what is the process of handover of properties in Dubai? And is there any warranty on the properties?
Absolutely, there is. So most of the developers actually, at the time of handover, so when the property is close to completion or ready for handover, they ask the investors, the buyers, to come and inspect their property, check them for any faults or any obvious signs of issues that they would like to get fixed. Once they get the property, they still have a 1-year defect liability period. This is warranted by the Dubai Land Department. So 1 year, you can stay inside the house, you use all the amenities, all the facilities. If there is an issue, the developer has to get the contractor to come and fix it without any cost. Beyond 1 year, you have another warranty, which is called the 10-year warranty on the structural defects. So suppose there is a structural issue with the building or your villa or your house, even that remains covered under the warranty period. And you can ask the developer to come and fix it without any cost.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, it's nowhere in the world that even up to 10 years, the developer has to come and fix the issues.
I agree with you. And the final question for my viewers, that what are the services we provide as a company?
So we are a licensed real estate brokerage firm. Since 2010, we have been in this market. I've been personally, staying inside Middle East since 2001. And as a company, we provide an end-to-end solution to all our investors. The main aim of setting up Unique Zone Real Estate was to provide a one-stop shop solution. So we not only help the investor in selecting and buying a property, be it an off-plan or a resale property, leasing it out, helping you get a mortgage. Even if you need an Airbnb solution or a property management solution, we provide everything in-house. You don't have to go outside. So just contact Manpreet and you get everything, all the solutions at one place. We as a company are there to back her up. Absolutely. We are here to provide you the end-to-end solution on real estate across UAE.
Exactly. And my overseas investors' biggest concern is who's going to manage their property. And I always tell that you don't have to talk to multiple people in Dubai. You have Manpreet. I will manage your property. I will rent your property. You want a mortgage? We have that.
Absolutely.
Everything.
We provide in-house solution for all the requirements that an investor would look for while investing into real estate.
Exactly. We are here to help you.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
All right, Mr. Ankush, thank you so much for your valuable time and guiding us. All right, guys, see you till next time.